Good morning, Eric.
Good evening, Wood.
I like that I still messed it up. I still brought the music up in between. We have a new
It's
intro.
fine.
We have a new intro.
Whoa.
What did you think of it? Did it feel good? Did it feel right?
I don't know. Because I haven't heard it yet.
No, the good morning and the good evening.
Oh, sorry. I thought you were referring to music that we were going to put in post show. That's fine. I like the intro. That's great. It's very timely. Obviously, because the time difference between you and I like it.
You're in the morning. In fact, even more in the morning than when we first started the show, we realized today. Because initially, the plan was for you to go live at midday, me to go live at 7. But then I had a daylight savings, you had a daylight savings, and for some reason, it skewed you in the other direction 2 hours. So now you're 10 a.m.
Well, right now it's 11 a.m. We should have.
Yeah. We're a little.
We should have started, and we should have started an hour ago, but that's fine.
Billion issues today.
Starting at 10 a.m. It's fine. I'm an early riser now.
I bet.
I mean, when you have a kid, they wake up early as anything, and with daylight savings time, it's like 5:30 is my new norm.
That is
so
the good
fine.
thing. We talked about it last week. That's a good thing about cats is they sleep in all morning. They keep you up all night, but you get that sleep in.
You're lucky.
Good morning and good evening is our for now moving forward. We're going to be using that as an intro, and I love it. But we still had people call in the last couple episodes, and believe it or not, people have still been calling in. People kept calling in because I tweeted the number for the show, and I was like, if you want to call into the show, we're live on a podcast, call in, give us a greeting. A lot of people thought I was trolling and putting out a fake number, or it wasn't. I thought I was hacked maybe because you just don't share numbers online anymore. It's not something you don't. But I
saw it and I was like, surely that's a scam. Like nobody's just
it's a good chance for me. But a lot of people thought it was my actual phone number, and they've been calling in all week and leaving voicemails to what they thought was me. And intern, I think has one of those for us here.
Yep, I sure do.
Woodhawker, my name is Spencer. I'm a big fan. I wanted to say that A, I love your videos, and B, I don't see nearly enough puns about your name being Wood. You might be able to think of some intro or some joke out of that.
No. Okay.
That sounds like a job for me, actually.
That sounds like a job for you. I can't stand the wood puns. I've been on the internet now for like almost 10 years, and I swear if I have to hear how much wood would a woodchuck chuck one more time in anything that I do, I'll flip my lid.
Do you know how much wood a woodchuck has to chuck in order for there to stop being wood jokes? 2x4.
Let's get on with this show. Are you ready? I'm ready to have a good time.
Come on, that was good. I like that.
What have you done this week? I want to catch up really quickly because we rushed through the start, and I don't get to ask you how your week was.
Look, I've been busy. I worked on a bunch of other stuff. As my normal day job, aside from being a dad, I'm an audio engineer, so I do a lot of post-production and podcasts and my own little thing that I do on the internet. So I've been busy doing that. I've been trying, like you, to take time off and play video games.
Yeah.
But I think I've played maybe like 2.5 hours of video games in the last 6 days. So it goes to show how much time I actually have to do.
What are you playing? What are you playing?
I'm playing Bravely Default 2 for the Nintendo Switch.
So you got past the first cutscene and then called it a day, 2.5 hours in?
Pretty much. Like I was playing in last night. It finally showed, like, when you started the game, it shows like the credits. It's like I'm 3 hours in and now it's only showing me the credits. Oh boy, this is going to be a big game.
Long. I tried playing that one. It didn't stick, sadly, but I have been playing a lot of Monster Hunter. Let me tell you.
Whoa.
Let me tell you. Last week, I was supposed to get a lot of work done this week because I took a week off of streaming on Twitch like I do every other day. And I was supposed to get work done, and it was just Monster Hunter, just hunting monsters every day and night, having a blast. I accidentally finished it in the last few days, just like from start to finish, but it's a lot of fun. I'm sure I'll talk about it at some point.
Hey, there you go. I've actually got a really funny story I haven't told you about. I'm going to interject quickly, and I'm going to keep it really brief.
Oh, do it.
There's a local coffee bean place near me, a coffee roaster.
Do they sell cinnamon scrolls?
No, they don't.
Did you go and get? I don't want to interrupt. Did you do the cinnamon scroll?
I didn't have a chance. I'll be honest.
Eric.
I'll be honest.
There is a free scroll with your name stabbed in it like a little flag waiting at the front of that store, and you didn't go and claim it.
I know. I feel really terrible, but that's just what happens. So I'll go in and get it. Don't worry. I mean, you put a lot of effort into it.
It's getting old, Eric. It's getting mold. It's getting fluffy.
It's getting cinnamon scrolled.
It's getting. What was your story?
All right. So my story is my favorite coffee beans are available here in the Surf Coast area of Victoria.
Mm-hmm.
So we drove out there yesterday morning. A couple of weeks ago, I followed their page on Instagram just because that's what I like to do. I like to support small business, like to support local business. So I gave them a follow on Instagram. They followed my Instagram page back.
Another Instagram. Are you about to tell me that was leave a joke below for a free coffee bean?
I'm not making that mistake ever again, believe me. So they followed me back and they commented on a couple of my posts. They're like, hey, I love your music. I love your drumming, whatever.
Wow.
Cool. That's great. That's a nice feel-good story. So I went in there yesterday, and before we got out of the car, because all three of us went, Amber and my son, I turned to Amber in the back seat because she sits next to the car seat, and I said, you want to bet that I get recognized? And she's like, no way. So we go in there, all three of us walk in. I've got my boy on my shoulder.
Yeah, that's what it's called.
We walk in. Yeah. The owner, the guy comes out and he's like, hey, you're Erek. Nice to meet you. He puts his hand out. I'm like, I've never met this guy in my life. And he starts fangirling over me, how good my music and stuff is. And I'm like, I love your coffee beans. So
that's great. That's great. I bet that felt great. I will admit I do enjoy getting recognized when I go out. It doesn't happen.
Yeah.
It really doesn't happen often. I mean, okay, it happens. It does happen. I wouldn't say often. It's like every time I go out, but it literally did happen today. I stopped in at GameStop, which that doesn't even count. Me getting recognized in GameStop next to the Switch games, that's like a 1-for-1. Like, where else am I gonna get recognized?
That's really funny.
But it was fun. It was nice. He actually sold me some Pokemon cards he had stashed behind the counter. He was like, I'm not supposed to sell these yet, but if you wanted some Pokemon cards, I was like, yeah, okay.
It's really funny because we were at the shopping center the other day. Sorry to keep going on, but
keep going on. I love it.
I said to Amber as we walked by EB Games, as it's called here in Australia, I said, I have more likelihood of getting recognized in an EB Games than I do like Walmart or something like that. Although I did get recognized at Niagara Falls once.
Really?
Yeah. Somebody messaged me afterwards. They were like, were you at Niagara Falls today? And I was like, yeah. He's like, oh, yeah, I love your videos.
That's awesome.
You could have came up and said hello, but whatever.
This is just going down an avenue of feeling like I'm full of myself. But there was one time I went to Walmart, and I walked in and I was trying to find toilet paper, and this was like when toilet paper was all out, and I needed a plunger too because I know it's the worst thing. But I went up to this guy. I was like, I couldn't find it. I gotta ask him, where's toilet paper, where's the plunger? And immediately I went on, I was like, hey, can I ask you? And he went, are you Wood from Beat 'em Ups? And I was like, yeah. And he's like, oh, great to meet you. And we shook hands because this is when you could shake hands. And then he was like, oh, what do you need? And I was like, oh, can you? You showed me with the toilet paper and plunges. And it just felt so bad to have someone that recognized me find me stuff that I use in my downstairs area. Like, could there be anything more degrading for me to? Thank you, fan. Now fetch me the plunger for my poop.
Hey, I thought we weren't talking about poop anymore.
Yeah, I really. Man, now I feel bad that I made a poop joke.
That's fine. That's really funny. Of all places and all things.
I actually never went back to that Walmart. I was so embarrassed. Hey, but we should probably get into the show. Good all catching up, though. iTunes. I need to talk about iTunes.
Okay.
First up, I want to give a huge thank you to everyone that's gone over to iTunes for the podcast and given us a cheeky 5-star rating.
Bloody 5 stars.
Bloody 5 stars. Don't know if we deserve it, but I love it. I appreciate it.
That's fine.
We put in 5-star effort. I don't know if we get a 5-star reward. I like to think we do, but we definitely put in a 6-star effort, I would say.
Yeah. Yes, we do, especially today.
I don't know if you've been to the iTunes page specifically, because you don't get I don't think you get reviews on Spotify. You can't review us on the everythingstaken.net page where you can listen to the podcast, but on iTunes you can do reviews. And I wanted to read you a couple of because there's actual written reviews, and
really?
I wanted to read you a couple. So here's a couple. The first one's from someone called Zaxon. They wrote, "Great show. Really, really good back and forth discussions, and I can't get enough of that opening music. Fantastic.
Hey, all right.
Fantastic, right? Great. All right.
Great.
Next, we
Cool.
have Zeltergeist, the podcast I've been waiting for.
Wow.
To be honest, I was never a huge fan of podcasts. This changed that. Great show with amazing content. Thanks, Wood.
Wow. That's honestly
Erek's here
game changer
too,
right
but
there.
yes, it's great
Fine.
reviews. I'm loving it so far. But this next one caught me off guard a little bit. I had to do a double take on this next one.
Okay.
It was also a 5-star, nothing wrong there. It's from Puzzle Solver 8193. They said, and let me see if this perks your ears up. Love this podcast. I'm always searching for a video game podcast, and this informative and entertaining video game podcast is great. Can't get enough.
I mean, we haven't really delved into the world of video games. I mean, although that is our
No.
background.
That is our background. We used to have a podcast called Everything's Taken Podcast.
We
Where
did.
we talked about video games primarily, which also had great intro music.
It did.
It did. And then I looked at the dates of these reviews.
What are they?
2017.
Oh no.
I realized that I guess we had an iTunes account for the Everything's Taken podcast already. And when my network went to make the new one, they must have realized that Everything's Taken podcast was taken. So they started a new iTunes, and it just says Everything's Taken with no podcast, and it doesn't have any written reviews.
So we've done this to ourselves. We've essentially played 4D chess
We took
in the past. From the past.
we took
to our
our
future
own
selves.
name. The whole joke of our name was everything we tried to find was taken, and we couldn't create accounts because all these names were taken. And now 3-4 years later, when we tried starting up the show again, we couldn't even get the Everything's Taken podcast domain for iTunes because it was taken by us.
Why would we do this to ourselves? I can't believe it. But it's funny because of all things to happen to us, it would be that, and it would be us that does it to us from the past.
It was a great show. You know, I for all 13 episodes of it, it was a great show. It does annoy me a little bit that our new show, while still having that 5-star rating, only has 3 reviews as opposed to the old show that has 17 reviews, and we have no written reviews. So our old show is higher rated than our new show.
Well, we're gonna have to do something like that. Something about that, rather. I mean, I would like to see some written reviews. I would like to know what people think of this particular show. I mean, yes, it's not video game centered, but you know, like you said, we're putting in 6-star effort for only 5 stars on iTunes. I mean, come on.
The old show was not a 6-star effort. The old show was like a 3-star effort. We rocked up and had a good time, and that was about it. I wonder, I didn't organize it. Maybe next week we could call Kristen again, my network manager, and see if when she made the new iTunes, if she saw Everything's Taken podcast was already there and decided, I'll start a new one, that one's taken, or didn't even think about it. I'll see if I can get her on the horn for next week.
Like I said, of all things, it's funny that it happens to us. And you know what? It's very fitting. So I'll allow it.
If you wanted to rate the show, the new show, go to iTunes, Everything's Taken, no podcast. That is the old show. No need to rate that anymore. Long gone. You can find the right iTunes by going to the website, everythingstaken.net. We'll appreciate any reviews you give us. And also, I forgot to mention for the voicemail, if you want to call into the show too and leave a voicemail, you can do that. It's 210-951-4927. I would love to check the voicemail every week. So you can call in with some, I don't know, whatever you want. Ask us a question, tell us a story, tell us where you're from. Get involved. I'd love to hear from you. And with that...
No poop jokes.
No poop jokes. Let's move on.
So it looks like we're into the third act here, right?
Rocket Man. Da-da-da-da-ba-da-da. Da-da-da-da.
Out of this world.
Out of this world. The show is called 5 Out. This episode is just called 5 Out. I want to explain why. We're gonna call a friend of the podcast, friend of the talk show, AU Retriever, who's been a big supporter of me personally on Twitch for a while, and now us, Eric, me and the other guy.
Oh yeah, just the other guy.
Just the other guy's fine. That'll do you here on the podcast, because we do stream it live on Twitch, and AU Retriever's in the chat each and every week. And he's a really cool guy, and I'll tell you why once we get him here into the call. But it's to do with space, and we were trying to think of a name for the episode, and I wanted to call it something like Space Rocket Men, I think. And then you said it's a shame we didn't call the last episode 4 Out instead of Far Out.
Yeah,
because you were going far out of this world. We should 4 out of the. It's a shame we didn't do 4 out of this world. And then the intern said, "Well, what about 5 out?"
I tell you what, the intern, he's good for some comic relief.
The intern is a blast. I can't believe I only just now meeting the intern. We've been getting along like a house on fire. Don't know his name still, but great guy.
I have no idea, because anytime he joins our Zoom call,
it's a silhouette, isn't it? It's like it's
like that the default Facebook picture. You know how it has like that.
Yeah. I think one time his camera flicked on, and it looked like it was out of like one of the news crime dramas where the guy sat in the silhouette, and you just kind of see the silhouette of the person moving.
But funnily enough, there was a can of like vanilla Dr. Pepper or something like that. Yes. So that's my eyes went straight to that instead of the silhouette. So
and I also saw a giant Zelda clock behind them as well. That's another clue I picked up on. Maybe a Zelda fan.
Really? Huh. Well, there you go. Maybe they are.
And a lot of candles, don't you think? It was like 50 candles all lit behind him.
Is this some sort of like Castlevania joke or something like that?
No, it was just a bunch of candles. Maybe he was just having a nice time.
Maybe they're helping us out from the back room in like some Bed Bath and Beyond in a mall. or something
maybe.
like that.
Maybe. Yeah, his boss comes in. What are you doing? Oh, just burning the candles. Oh yeah. Anyway, we're off topic. We got to call AU Retriever, a good fan of the show. Intern, if you can go ahead and get him in. Oh, apparently he's already in the waiting room.
Yep, he's in the waiting room. Yep.
If you can go ahead and throw him in.
Here he is, guys.
Hello.
Hey.
Hi.
Hey, how are you?
What's up, Eric and the other guy?
Hey, thank you.
Nice. Hey, it's so good to talk to you. This is the first time we've ever talked voice to voice. It's great to hear from you.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
First, I have to say, just from a streamer, my standpoint, thank you for all the crazy support you've shown me over the last year at this point now. Thank you. I really appreciate you.
Yeah, anytime, man.
But we wanted to get you on the show because I think you have to be the most interesting person that watches me here on Twitch. You know what I'm alluding to here. Do you want to tell the people at home what it is you do for a career?
Yeah, I work at the Kennedy Space Center as a fluids design engineer. So I work on all sorts of things. I worked on the Perseverance rover. I've worked on the Orion capsule. Pretty much anything and everything.
So NASA.
Wow.
Yep, NASA.
That's pretty cool.
I have so many questions to ask you. And before we get into it, if you're okay, we just want to ask you questions about space because I think it's so interesting. We have some questions lined up here. But those listening at home, wait, hold on. I got something that Eric and I prepared earlier first before we get into it. But
yeah, come on.
Yeah,
we didn't put all this effort in for no reason.
All right.
Rocket Man, watching our show from his home. Gonna ask him questions like, hey, are we alone?
Oh, that was great.
Thank you. I hadn't heard it yet. We did it last minute. That was actually really good.
I turned out fine, so you got nothing to worry about.
Did you have to auto-tune that at all?
No, you were pitch perfect.
All right. First, I gotta ask. I don't know how public it is. You don't have to tell us. But your actual name, not AU Retriever. But we can go by that if you prefer.
We can go by Ryan. That's fine.
Oh, yeah, that's what I figured.
Okay.
So Ryan,
nice to meet you. Thank you for coming on.
Nice
the show.
to meet you. Also, the other really impressive thing here is your age. If you're okay with disclosing that.
Yeah, I'm 23.
Which is incredible to me. Because what I kind of missed it, but what is your exact title at NASA?
I'm a fluids design engineer and a team lead.
Fluids design, is that correct?
Yep.
So what does that
Yep.
what does that entail? What do you do in with fluids? You filling up the
So
rocket?
I work on all systems that have to do with gases or liquids, and I do certifications to ensure they're safe.
That's pretty cool. That's a big job title there. There's a lot at stake.
Yeah, I mean, if you're keeping our men on the moon safe, really, if that's your responsibility to make sure everything that is insane. How did you get to this point at 23? Like, what's the role here? Because I finished high school at 18. I was working retail by 20. How did you get from high school to college, university, whatever, and then get to NASA that quickly?
Yeah. So I graduated high school at 18, and then I went to the University of Central Florida here in Orlando, graduated 4 years later with a degree in aerospace engineering. And in the middle of that, I interned at my current job for 2 years, and now I've been working full-time for 2 years.
That's really impressive.
That's
That's
impressive.
really,
That's
really
like
impressive.
fast track. You got there so quick.
Look, I've got a question that I've been meaning to ask. I've never really met anybody in like the space or aeronautics industry or whatever. This is something that I talked about with my parents growing up. I mean, just looking up at the stars and everything. There's so much out there. Is there really a brown ring around Uranus, or is it just a myth?
It's not really brown, but it is if you don't wipe enough.
Why'd you have to go there?
I was like, you're actually gonna answer me and be serious. I'm sorry.
I actually have a question. We got to get back onto actual questions, but
Yes, sorry.
Space Jam. How do you feel about the new Space Jam? From someone at NASA, how do you feel about the new Space Jam?
I'm excited about it. I loved the original Space Jam. It was mine and my brother's favorite show when we were growing up. So expecting good things.
You think that new trailer looks good? Because I'm hesitant on it. It looks kind of, I want to say boring a little bit.
Boring.
The new trailer.
I haven't seen the new trailer, but the trailers are. I don't try to put too much judgment into trailers. So.
Your job with fluids. What's the most exciting thing you get to do? Like, what do you look forward to the most when you wake up in the morning and drink your coffee out of a NASA themed mug?
So right now, most of my job's pretty boring, but tomorrow I do get to go on site and work on the mobile launcher and work on some of the umbilicals that connect to the rocket. So that's pretty exciting. I love when I get to go out in the field and look at stuff.
Man, if I ever come to Florida, can you show me around with what you do? Because I actually do find space and NASA and all of that so extremely interesting. Ever since I was a young kid. I mean, it's one of them dream jobs, right? When you're a kid, you're like, what do you want to be? Half the kids are going to say fireman. The other half are probably going to say astronaut. And astronaut for me was always like, I would love to go to space. I would love to if I was ever in Florida, I'd want to invite myself to come and help you with your fluids.
Okay.
I mean, I can for sure get you tickets to the visitor center.
Okay, well, I get relegated.
I could probably show you around on like the tour, but I don't think I could get you on center without going through there.
I promise not to touch anything. You can tell. Who's the head guy in charge? Who's the big boss at NASA?
So they just named a new director, but my big boss on center his name's Bob Cabana.
Bob Cabana. Well, you tell Bobby boy, I promise not to touch anything. I think intern had a question too.
I'll let him know.
Yeah, you did. Intern, let's bring you in here.
Didn't you have because you were interested in this too?
I mean, yeah, the space is super interesting to me. I mean, there was obviously the big news lately about the Mars new rover, but the more I thought about that, the more I was like, that's probably a little bit before your time because.
No, I worked on the new Mars rover.
Oh, did you? Like what kind of parts what did you work on with that?
So I worked on service equipment. So I created the panels that would service all the GN2 and nitrogen and ammonia on that rover.
That is so cool.
That is out of this world.
Out of this world. I need to ask, someone that works at NASA, someone that is actually important in this world, what are you doing watching my content?
It really helps pass the time.
Okay, I guess I'll take that. I really do appreciate you a lot, and I just wanted to get you on the show to pick your brain about space. So how about this one? Do you think that we're alone in the universe?
No, of course not.
Oh yeah, me too. I feel the same way. Can you give us a reason why you think that way? Have you seen something? Is there secrets?
I mean, it's so big, and they've already found like bacteria out there, so there's no way there's not anything
right
even remotely close to animals like fish.
Yes, that's my thing.
Sure, there's fish somewhere.
Because whenever you go, you're the NASA guy.
Yeah, I mean, and then if there's like regular creatures out there, there's got to be smart creatures.
Yes. See, that's my thing. Because people, I get this. I get into this conversation a lot because I find space and the universe so fascinating, and I could ask you so many questions that you might not even know the answer to. That's like, how does space go on forever? How is that even theoretically possible? But whenever I get into these conversations with people, and I say like I think there's life out there somewhere, they always immediately go to other humans in like spaceships flying around invading Earth, and I'm like, you're going too far. You're going too literal. Like, humans are such an anomaly. Like, we're so perfect. Like, how we came together to be who we are is like a 1 in 100 billion chance of happening. And maybe it happens somewhere else, but it's way more likely. You're right. Like, there's some other kind of life forms, fish, cattle of some, like space cattle. Like, I don't know, like other life. Even if it's just like fauna or flora, right? Even if it's just flora, like plants or grass or something, like there has to be in all the universes. There's no way there's not.
Yeah, I'm sure there's something smart like us, but I'm also sure it's going to be completely foreign from us.
Yeah, for sure. And I don't think it'll look like, gray little alien man unless that concept came around because of Area 51 and that whole thing was actually real. Do you think that was real? Because I live really close to Area 51. Was that real?
I mean, Area 51 is a place. There's a military base there.
Do you think that shady things are happening there?
I don't think anything shady's happening there.
Oh, wow. I think there
not
is.
Anymore.
I think not anymore.
Base has been moved. It's been moved somewhere.
Area 52.
I guess.
Yeah.
I guess you'd have to say that though, right? Hey, blink twice if you had to say that.
I mean, no matter how many times I blink, you won't know.
Hey,
I know.
That's right.
Hey, thank you so much. Unless one of the guys has something else to pick your brain about, I could talk to you all day.
That was great. The idea of space and all that stuff. I mean, all jokes aside, I mean, it's very fascinating, very interesting. So even to pick your brain for a couple of minutes is great.
And I mean, I don't want to discredit anyone else in my chat. Obviously, there's a lot of wonderful people that watch me, and a lot of people, like millions, have come and gone at some point, right? Like over 1 million subs on YouTube. Who knows who's come and gone? Who knows who's subbed and what they do for a living? But for me personally, having an insane interest in space and just knowing that you're in the chat almost every stream, it's just really cool. And it means a lot to me, and I just think it's awesome. And I think you are super interesting. So thank you for coming on the show.
Yeah, like I said earlier, anytime, guys.
And if we ever
I look forward to a good rest of the show.
If we ever have any kind of space question, Erek, anything that ever needs to be answered in regards to, that entire area of life, we have an expert.
Who are you going to call?
We have an expert we can call from now on.
Great. Sounds good.
I'm going to use that as much as possible. All right. Thank you, Ryan. I appreciate you a lot.
Thank you. Yep. Nice meeting you.
No problem, guys.
Thanks for coming
Have a good one. Bye.
That was great. That was great. Really cool.
I know a lot of the show, I always say to you, like, what is the purpose, right? When we, like, come up with an idea, a segment, I'm like, what is the purpose? Like, where does this go? Where does it lead? Is it a joke? Like, what is the wrap up here? But when it came to Ryan, I just wanted to call him and ask him about space because I was just so interested.
Look, space, I mean, really is the final frontier. I mean, to quote my my old friend, Jean-Luc Picard.
Yeah.
So it's just good to know.
Well, to quote my old friend, the intern, I think it's time to move on to the next segment.
Whoa, I think it is. So look, we, as we alluded to before, we come from a background of video games, and like space, space, you can go and journey in different destinations.
Oh, you can go to space in video games.
You can go to space in video games, but
Mass
more
Effect
specifically,
comes to mind.
there's a certain genre of games known as the role-playing game.
Yeah.
Or, more specifically, the Japanese role-playing game. That's really where my niche is.
I'm here.
I like these games that transport me to different places because on a day-to-day basis, when you're so busy, the thing you want to do the most is just escape. So escapism, that's what video games is and, facilitates.
Mm-hmm.
Do you have a favorite role-playing
favorite.
game.
Oh, I was going to say video game. That's okay. Favorite video game is a much easier question to answer because I get it so often. Favorite RPG is tough. Specific console, because like if we're going anything, I'm thinking like Persona 4 for Vita is probably my favorite of all time.
Ooh, that's very specific. Well, look, why don't we take it back a couple years,
Okay,
decades?
well, you do have the word retro on your T-shirt, so that doesn't surprise me.
Bloody oath, mate.
Bloody oath.
let's look at the Super Nintendo. The Super Nintendo
I
is
got
probably
one for that easy.
okay. Well, what is it?
Mine probably be Link to the Past. Zelda again.
RPG.
Don't give me that look. What?
What are you talking about?
What do you mean?
Okay.
You don't like Link to the Past?
No, I love Link to the Past, but I wouldn't describe it as like a role playing. I mean, although
JRPG, like with the leveling and the turn based, no, but it's still an RPG, right?
I would see it more of like an action / adventure game.
What do you got?
You know what
then?
I mean?
What have you? Let me critique yours.
Mine is the story of a little boy who wears.
Oh my god! Why didn't I just guess it?
A red cap and a baseball bat. His name is Ness. Anybody guessing this here? It's called Earthbound.
You have a yellow and is it black, yellow, and black, blue striped T-shirt that you have had. Yep. I know you've had this shirt for like 10 years because, and I know why you refuse to throw it away. Because anytime anything Earthbound comes up, you're in that shirt guaranteed.
I've got it. Like, this is the hat. I've worn this hat in your physical presence. This hat is 7 years old.
Worn that T-shirt in my physical presence. Earthbound is great. I will give you that. It's definitely a traditional JRPG. One of my favorites as well. But it doesn't beat Link to the Past.
Oh, come on. Surely you're putting on a facade here.
I love Earthbound, but who's still talking about Earthbound? I don't see Earthbound Breath of the Wild on Switch. I see Zelda. I see Zelda has remained king. I'm just putting that out there right now.
Well, I think that's the prerequisite for being like a game that's so loved. Like, it's a niche game that didn't really do well.
Yeah,
and therefore it's going to have this cult following.
Yeah.
So like, there's only going to be a select few people talking about this, like, for example, online or something like that.
It's got that underdog side of it. And I'll say that I played it for the first time maybe like 6 years ago, something like that. I had a blast. I finished it. I had a fantastic time. I thought it was great. I tried not to Google at all, and it was tough in a lot of spots, but it was like the end boss I had to Google, and I don't know how you beat that boss without either Googling or being a kid that actually had the freaking manual.
More specifically, there's a point in the game where your little band of heroes has to stand under a waterfall for 3 minutes.
Yes. Yeah, I think I did Google that one too, because how are you supposed to know?
I don't know, but that's when you're a kid, your mind wanders, you have imagination. So I guess, I don't know. I think we need to bring in an expert or something like that to tie break for us.
To tie. I don't think we have to come up with an answer.
I don't know. Like, why don't we just crown the greatest RPG of all time live on the show right now?
I think you're getting a bit compared. To start with, I don't think you're right that Zelda isn't a traditional JRPG, so it is a little bit like apples and oranges. But if we're talking which game is the better game or what game has lasting power, I do think Link to the Past would win for a lot of people. Who do you have someone in mind you want to call in? I'm not prepared for that. We'd have to get the intern to call someone. Would you want to?
I think.
Here's the thing: we don't normally do this, but we are live on Twitch right now. Intern, are you there still? Of course you're still there. Can you look at the Twitch chat? If Twitch chat can think of anyone, I'm already thinking of someone that knows RPGs and that I would know that they would want me to call. I can give you a number and you could call. You could call him. We got to ask him and they do a tiebreaker.
Who do you got? Who can we bring up?
We got some people here. Game Dave, Peter Doors.
Good ones. Is there anyone that like specifically knows RPGs?
Well, so Super Derek. Okay, I see another Game Dave.
So I don't think Game Dave would answer at this point unless he's live because he's got school.
I guess you probably don't have Pete Doors' number. What about Super Derek?
We could do Derek, but Derek streams a lot on Twitch. Derek could be live right now. I think Derek's a better bet because he would definitely answer the phone. And I have his number. So I can type it in our chat if you want to give it a shot, but he could be live on Twitch.
Yeah, type it in. See if we can bring him up. I'd actually like to talk to him because I've never met him before.
See if you can get him into the call. He's definitely Oh, actually, oh no, this is a bad choice. I think he does like Earthbound. I know he likes Terranigma. He's
the game that nobody knows about.
But
that's why it's good. That's why
I
it's
feel
good.
like it's more like I think that's like his favorite SNES game, and I think he's probably gonna lean more towards yours than mine because of that reason.
I don't know. We'll see. Then again, you never know.
Intern, is he answering? Is he picked up? Has he done anything yet? Did you get his number? Can you call him?
Yeah, I can do that.
Okay.
Okay, cool. Thank you. Let me know when he's on the line here.
Okay. I've got him in the waiting room. Yeah, I think he's here.
Okay.
So,
Okay.
Let him in.
All right.
Let's bring him in. Hey, Derek, how are you? Are you live on the show here?
Hello.
I think so. Yeah. Can you hear me?
Here he is.
Yeah, we got him. Hey, Derek. It's Wood and Eric. We're doing I'm now realizing you have no idea what's going on, but we're doing a Twitch show right now, our live stream, our podcast.
Yeah.
And we have a tiebreaker question we need you to answer, Eric, if you want to take it away.
Yeah. So look, we've been talking about our favorite JRPG or favorite RPG, or maybe more specifically, like what's the better Super Nintendo game? Like Wood is saying Link to the Past, and I'm saying Earthbound. I mean, clearly Earthbound is the better story.
I don't know
better
about
game.
that. I don't know. You're kind of leading him.
I don't know. Like,
Okay.
I don't.
Oh, okay. So wait, RPG?
Yes, favorite Super Nintendo specifically, best RPG. I think Link to the Past. Eric's fighting me on whether or not it's actually a JRPG. So I'm trying to turn it into which is just the better game.
Okay. Yeah, that's a lot to unpack. Yeah. Okay. So
I know we've put you on the spot.
Yeah, sorry.
You're not streaming, are you?
no, I'm not. I'm not streaming.
Okay. You could say Link to the Past. Don't be afraid.
Well, okay. Well, so here's the thing. Link to the Past is really great. It is definitely a really great action adventure
I feel
series.
like he doesn't want to upset
that
me.
It introduced me to role-playing games. Like it was like I played that, and I was like, I want to go
it's a
play more games like
role-playing game.
Zelda.
Right, RPG, right.
RPGs are a spectrum, you know.
Yeah.
Like there's like on the far end of the most role-playing style of RPG, you got the Dungeons and Dragons, right, where you actually play and act out the role, right?
Yeah.
And then on the very far end of that, you got Zelda. The other end.
Oh, come on. I feel like you're leaning towards Earthbound here.
I mean, if you're gonna ask me about which one's the better RPG, okay, so let's just take RPG out of the equation
Yes, please.
that makes it easier for me.
Please.
Okay, just the better of the two.
Yeah.
Oh God, that's actually still ridiculously tough. Shoot.
Are you still there? Intern, is he still in the call?
No, he's still here.
Okay.
He looks
I'm
like he's
here.
still here.
Okay.
Okay.
You're just having such a hard time.
All right. How about this? How about we defer?
How about
to
we
the
ask
intern?
the intern? Do you mind if we ask the intern his favorite RPG, Derek?
Sure.
I
Yeah.
played like a Mario RPG once. That was about it.
Okay. Well, let's ask both Derek and the intern. I'll ask because you like Mario RPG as well, right, Derek?
Yeah. Mario was a really good one.
Yes.
Mario RPG. I only played it recently, but
I know a lot of
last
people
year, I
really
guess.
like Geno, but what's both of your favorite characters?
I mean,
Mario, actually.
I kind of
Mario.
liked.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I guess Mario was a good choice.
Yeah, I mean, it's kind of like the
obviously.
only choice. All right, I think what we can determine here is Link to the Past is the superior game, but when it comes to traditional RPGs,
Oh.
Earthbound is.
Oh, I'm not happy with that either.
Okay, well,
Well, I don't know. You didn't really give us a choice. Maybe we'll just call it even.
we'll just call it even. I don't think we need a winner. Derek, thank you for coming in. I appreciate it.
Thank you for coming on the program. Nice meeting you, by the way.
Oh, yeah, good talking to you too.
Hey,
was
Derek,
your name again?
Derek and Eric.
Yeah.
Oh God.
There you go.
You even both spell it the same way with E-R-E-K.
There you go. I like that. That's a good spelling.
Thank you for coming on the show, Derek. Out of nowhere.
Glad I could sort of help.
Get rid of him.
Cool.
Get rid of him. Get him out of here. I'll talk to you later.
See you later. Oh, that was great. That was funny.
I
Look,
think,
I
think
don't know
Derek
if we were
was-
ever going to get a clear winner, but
No.
hey, he's the resident RPG
I think
guy.
at the start, Derek didn't know what we were asking him, and then once he realized, I don't think he wanted to upset me. I think we had a very clear answer.
Uh,
It's fine. I do love Earthbound. I'm not upset at all. And I do like doing these little gaming segments within the show every now and then, because I think we should bring it back to gaming every once in a while. Good subject, Eric. Good talk.
Yeah, it's good to get back to our roots.
All right, let's keep going.
Speaking of roots, there's a lot of things that we used to do before. I don't know. We dedicated all our time to this podcast.
Oh, yeah, I had a life. Believe it or not.
Me too. What did you used to do? Like, what did you do? Like, what for more specifically? Like, YouTube's obviously your job now.
Yeah.
What did you do?
I've done a lot of things. I think at some point I counted like 20 different jobs, and I really don't want to sit here and try and remember all of them. But I started working when I was 13 years old. I've said that before on the cast, I think, at Hungry Jack's, which is Burger King. But my most recent job ever before YouTube was a waiter at a restaurant, which was an absolute blast. I got tons of tips up in Canada. And before that, in Australia, because you came to visit me one day, which was very awkward for me because I hated working there. Great place to work, but hated working there. It was Bunnings Warehouse, where lowest prices are just the beginning.
Just the beginning. And for the uninitiated, Bunnings is the Australian version of like Home Depot or Lowe's.
It's very similar to Home Depot. It's so similar that when I go to Home Depot here in the States, I usually know like where to walk to, whatever I want. I know what aisle to head to almost immediately. It's all the same. It's the same layout.
It's just got like a red and blue facade instead of like orange or whatever for Home Depot or something like that. So yeah, it was cool. I did visit you once. The time that I stayed at your house, you had a really nice Bunnings towel that I dried myself off with after a shower.
They always gave really good Christmas presents, and they had like a Bunnings towel. Wait, why'd you shower at my house?
I stayed at your house.
Oh yeah, you did. That was a nice time.
Oh, that's funny. No, I do Bunnings.
Ago.
That would have been a good job.
It was a great job. What did you do? Because you worked in Australia at some point, right?
Yeah, so I my most recent job, like a normal 9 to 5 job, I worked as a phone and computer repair technician. Okay. So I obviously very tech savvy, of course, and not only handsome and good looking and charming, whatever, but I'm quite tech savvy.
Okay.
Nobody asked. It's fine.
So if I had an issue with my phone right now, could you fix it, or is my phone too new for your old skills?
No, look, I freelanced there a couple of months ago, so. I'm
it's pretty
very
recent.
very well versed. I was fixing like the Note 10 Plus 5Gs, like all those things, like repairing
of course.
batteries.
Yeah, you got to fix the batteries go out on those all the time. You got the microphone glitches, I guess. What was the one that exploded all the time?
It was the Samsung.
It was a Note something.
It was
right.
I don't know if it was a Note. It was something. It was one of the 7s, the Samsung Galaxy something.
No,
7s.
It wasn't a Galaxy. I know that because I have Galaxies. I know more than you on this mobile subject.
Oh, yeah, I guess
Mr. worked in the mobile store. No, it was definitely the Notes because I've always had Samsungs, and when I heard they were exploding, you better believe that was the first thing I checked, and I can see you Googling to see if I was right. Galaxy
it was the Note 2. It was the Note 7.
Oh. Well, the intern just wrote in our chat it was Note 2. But whatever, it was Note, and it got
Doesn't
banned.
matter.
It got banned from flights because it was an actual like explosion hazard. Like you couldn't take these phones. So did you ever have anyone come in with an exploded phone expecting you to fix it?
No, not necessarily. I mean, you did have your issues that became kind of apparent over time. For example, this is really techie and out there, but if you have an iPhone 7 from factory, they used a cheaper component for the audio chip. So within 2 years, you're guaranteed to not be able to use speakerphone. Your audio is going to gray out in calls,
absolutely,
things like that. So like, I was pretty good at diagnosing stuff. Like I actually really, really enjoyed that job. And more to the point, I really enjoyed working with the people that I worked with. I established a really good rapport, which brings us.
Oh no, what?
We're going to call them.
Oh, what are you going to do?
Not me.
What do you mean, not you?
It's you. You're the one with the Australian accent. They're gonna know that I'm calling their favorite American guy.
You can do an Australian accent. You did it last week perfectly.
I know, mate. But under pressure. Under pressure.
Under pressure.
I can't.
Wait, you sound like what was that Lethal Weapon There was Lethal Weapon. What was that Lethal Weapon movie? Lethal Weapon. You sound like Mel Gibson in Lethal Weapon. Like, it's almost perfect. I love it.
Oh, okay. Well, look, I think you're going to have to call him.
I don't want to. Well,
basically,
why? What has spurred this on?
I want to get. Look, I really love those guys. I want you to call them. And we used to get calls all the time about people who would just dribble, you know what I mean, like and just talk.
Yeah.
Surely they were prank calls about anything and everything under the sun, about tech issues or whatever. So what I want you to do is I want you to call my old phone repair shop.
Oh no.
And pretend that you have an issue with your Acer Aspire laptop.
Okay. What? I don't have an Acer Aspire laptop.
You do now.
Okay. All right. Sure. Give the intern the number. He's been very busy. Is this my punishment for last week embarrassing you? Now you're going to embarrass me?
No.
Okay. Because
I don't know what you're talking about.
that I would understand.
So look, there's a guy that works there. His name is Daniel.
Okay.
All right. He's a big bald guy. I want you to call him and ask for the big bald guy.
All right.
He's not the manager, right? He's not the manager. He and I were on the same level.
Okay.
But I want you to ask for the manager because everybody thought that this big hulking bald guy in the shop was the manager.
I got it. Okay. I got it. The call, ask for Daniel. All right. Intern, go ahead and give them a call.
All right. Wish me luck, everybody.
Wish you luck? I got no idea what I'm about to say. Hello? Hi?
Hi, who's this?
Oh, hi. My name is Billy. I was just wondering, I came in the other day and I talked to someone, a big dude. He was bald. I was wondering if he was there, if I could talk with him real quick.
And what was this regarding?
My Acer Aspire laptop.
Okay. He's just with a customer at the moment. Could I maybe get him to give you a call back?
Yeah. I'm about to step out. That's the only thing I'm trying to. Do you know how much longer
he's just been freed up. I can pass you over now.
Perfect. Thank you.
All right. Thanks so much. Here you are. A gentleman called Billy spoke to you the other week about his Acer Aspire. American accent, kind of.
Hello, Daniel speaking.
Hi, how are you? My name's Billy. We spoke last week about my Acer Aspire laptop. I don't know if you remember.
I vaguely recall, yeah, mate, yep.
Great, thank you. I appreciate that. That actually means a lot to me because so often I go into places and I ask that question and they're like, yeah, I don't remember you at all. So it's...
No, that's all right. We don't get a whole lot of laptop questions in this place,
right.
So you kind of get to know that, yeah.
Well, I hope you can help me with mine then, because it's on the fritz, I'm pretty sure. The screen has gone back out again. I know you had a tinkle with it, but it's all like glitching. Like I can't see half the side of it. It's running really hot. Like when I'm up at night trying to work, I'm having to get ice cubes from the freezer and try and like hold ice with the back of my hand on the laptop, and it melts so quick. Water's getting everywhere.
Yeah, okay.
I was wondering if you know what you did to fix it, or if I have to bring it in again.
Look, I think it was just a re-shimmy of the display connector itself.
Yeah.
Now, the heating problem could be just the internal cooling components are gunked up with dirt and dust and debris and who knows what.
Yeah.
That's an easy fix as well. Look, I mean, laptops, most like anything that sits on, carpet or, it sucks up dust and all sorts of things with the fan. Do you hear the fan going really hard in it when it's getting hot or not at all?
Yeah, look, it does start going pretty hard, but it gets bogged down. Like 8 to 9 hours into watching Netflix, it starts oozing like this almost brown liquid out of the fan, and it really slows the fan down, and I don't think it's getting enough heat. And I think that's why it's overheating so much. Do you know what that ooze is? Is that like some kind of battery fluid or something?
No. The battery itself is a lithium battery. Like if it was punctured or somewhat ruptured, it'd catch fire. It's not probably what you think it is.
Okay.
The fluid, my best guess would be, if you can imagine, it's pretty gross to imagine, but if you can imagine, right, like a filter that gets dust and stuff stuck in it, right?
Yeah.
Over time, as humidity and moist air gets sucked into it, it catches other things like
yeah, because I usually,
you know what I mean, like all the dirt and stuff, and then over time, as your fan is like sucking up all this nasty grit and all the rest of it. That makes so much
sense, because I actually my dinner tray broke, so I've been using it as a dinner tray, and it's probably mashed potatoes and gravy, honestly, that's gotten sucked up into it.
Yeah, so look, I mean, there could be quite literally anything in there that's trying to force its way out. It's probably getting hot because it can't cool itself down because of all the obstructions and stuff in it. So that's probably that. Now, the screen itself, look, if it's just a reseating of the connector, great. If it's something else altogether different, like maybe the screen, as you say, is on the fritz, it could just be a replacement screen. But I guess this comes down to a few things as to whether or not it's worth fixing again, like, you know, just providing with it just a quick tinker to get it by.
Yeah.
Or, you know, you look at a different option.
Liquid crystals. What do you know about liquid crystals?
Well, liquid crystal is, I guess, the LCD component of it sort of suggests aren't actually liquid.
Right. Because I read that online, so I tried getting my wife's crystal, like, rings, and I tried, like, just rubbing them all over the screen, but now I've just scratched the screen up completely. I don't think that's what they meant by liquid crystals.
No.
Oh,
So
okay.
Liquid crystal, as the term sort of defines, is the technology in which an LCD type screen is made from. So it's basically like a multi-layer laminate arrangement where light is sort of cast through individual layers of sheeting inside this LCD, so that it produces the picture that you see. So
one more thing.
There's literally no liquid in it.
Okay.
You're not going to get anything out of it like that.
So I'll definitely stop eating my mashed potatoes on it. That's my bad. One more thing I wanted to ask though is I came in a few months back and I spoke to some American guy who recommended that I pour water all over the laptop after I get the mashed potatoes on it. But then that got all like backed up into the speakers. Do you know who that American guy was? I think it was like Derek or something.
His name was Eric. He no longer is with us. He's sort of pursued
Thank
other
God,
interests.
because this laptop is ruined now thanks to him.
Yeah, no.
You want to say something, Eric?
Thank you for playing along.
You are so
Eric,
nice.
Good one.
You are so nice.
It's really funny because I know you hang on the phone with people for so long.
But I've been stitched up. All right.
I'm
Eric,
so sorry.
You know what? This is good because you know what? It's not so far removed from what actually Eric would probably say. He'd be like, "Oh, so you got mashed potatoes in your laptop? You know what? Go and take it outside, pour some water on it, and forget it ever existed."
That sounds just like me.
You are so nice. You were really trying to help me. Look, Eric now has this talk show with me on Twitch. It's a live radio show. We have several thousand people watching. I need you to give some kind of like promo to your store or something, because if you want service, this is the guy to go to.
Whenever Eric comes back, and I know he's going to shoot back here for a little while when I decide to take some holidays, come back. Any laptop that's taken a swim in a shitter or something like that, Eric's your guy. He'll be more than happy to filter the shit out of your laptop or whatever it might be. It might even be a poo phone. In fact, we pride ourselves on handling any kind of poo phone arrangement. In fact, Eric's the man for your device with that one.
That's exactly right. Thank you.
Thank you so much for being
you know
such
what,
a good
Eric?
sport.
That reminds me of that those cheese flakes that was in that iPad that one time. So
tell me about it. It was cheese.
You know, when you shake an iPad upside down and food quite literally shakes itself out of it. Hey, you know, you're doing a fine job.
How did you not question me on the mashed potatoes oozing out? How is that not a red flag?
You know what? It's become such a mainstream part of my job. Like someone yesterday comes in, he goes, "Well, hey, here's my phone. Everything doesn't work." I ask him what happened. He's like, "Oh, I took a swim in the Oh, well, you know what? I can't help you.
Yeah, I'm not touching that.
I mean, a phone has its limits, and you know what? You make it swim with other things. it's going to have the same reaction as most people do. You know, they're going to climb out of that pool if they see a turd floating towards them. So phone can't do that. They just have to sit there and take it.
Like, I appreciate you, Daniel, and I really hope that when Erek gets back in there, you give him the full guff that he deserves at this point.
Oh, I'll get it, believe me.
Hey, you know what, Wood, mate? You need to call back. Get Erek stitched up good and proper, mate.
I will. I absolutely will. Thank you so much. I appreciate you.
I'm not sure if you do the whole business shout out, but smartphone fix Bendigo. That's where you come, but don't send your stuff here. There are other
That's
places
a good slogan. I like it.
Yes.
All right. See you later,
Very good.
Daniel.
Thank you, Dan. We'll talk to you later.
No worry, Erek. We'll talk to you all later. See
Yeah,
you.
bye-bye.
Yeah.
That
that's so
guy is the nicest guy I have ever spoke to on the phone.
I told you, like, no matter what you talk about, he'll hold your hand through anything.
He was really trying. I love that so much.
That's so funny. I'm glad that worked out.
Dude, I had a great time today. This was really good. We'll see you all next week. Bye.
Fist bumps only.
Fist bumps only.